Hey everyone, we are here still with, we're just going to say it, a Sista Brunch favorite, like an all-time favorite, Black Girls Film Camp here at the Essence Film Festival. They screened 3 of the films. We have interviewed all of the girls whose films screened, so make sure you go to the Black Girls Film Camp YouTube channel or to the Trujillo Media YouTube channel to see those. And we are so proud to continue the tradition of speaking with the graduates, the recent graduates from the program. So we have Kyla, we have Alexandra, we have Daria, and you've seen her beautiful face already from our interviews at USC. We've got Precious Foreman with us. So Precious, we'll start with you because you were an alumni coach this year.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what it was like to be an alumni coach.
Okay, well, hi. Again, my name is Precious Foreman, and this year was my second year as an alumni coach, but...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
okay.
This is my second chance, and I was actually Kyla's alumni coach.
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
so
Kyla,
she was.
We worked on the Fat Hustle, and honestly, it was a great experience for me because I think every year the Black Girls Film Camp just gets so much bigger and so much better. I mean, this year we even had a first international girl, and so...
Where was she from?
Sydney, Australia.
Oh my goodness,
yes.
Amazing.
So it's just been really cool to see how much better it gets each year. And this year was like not an exception at all. I mean, I had a really great experience. And it was also really fun just getting to meet everyone, all of the new girls, but also get to spend more time with the other alumni. And we've really created like a friendship and a sisterhood. So it's been a lot of fun for me.
What, Precious, is something that you learned as an alumni coach? Because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, there's so many lessons to learn. But then on the other side now in coaching, was there anything that you learned?
I would say I just learned how important it is to have a team on your group and everything. Like I said, Kyla's film was incredible, and she really had a strong vision from the beginning, but also her entire family has been in the whole process. Her mom was on the meetings with us, her father and her sister were always there. So I really saw the support that she had and how that really helped her film to turn out so great. So I think that's just so important.
We need to repeat this: strong vision and support. Number one, that's what Black Girls Film Camp does, I find, is like, especially around that support, but also even watching the films that screened yesterday here at Essence, each one has this very clear, strong vision, right?
Yes.
And so I just love that y'all are the role models for so many filmmakers that I work with in Hollywood, and I'm so glad to have that. Daria, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about the film that you made for Black Girls Film Camp.
Yeah, so my film was called As You Are, and it was about a young queer Black girl who had to learn the true meaning of self-acceptance and self-love after an unfortunate event at her church. And it's kind of a commentary not only on, queerness in churches, but also specifically in the Black church. And it was important for me to have the story kind of end with her still being within the religion, because I feel like a lot of stories about queer people in religious spaces, it ends with them just leaving it and not really having a position. So I kind of wanted to commentate on how there should be spaces for queer people in churches, specifically in the Black church, and talk about the intersectionality of that situation.
Beautiful. Y'all are using words like intersectionality, and I'm like, yes. The older people are like, no, nobody's using that. I'm like, now that you dropped that into this video, I'm so glad. Daria, that sounds amazing. Was there anything autobiographical about this that you chose? Yeah,
partly because I'm queer myself and I am religious, and the church I go to, which is actually the church that we filmed the entire, or half the film at, the 2 churches in there, it's a really accepting church. So that was really helpful for me in dealing with my queerness and my religion, because I consider myself Christian. So that was just a really important part in my journey, and I wanted to include that in my film.
Let's shout out that church.
Yeah, it's Riverside Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. So shout out to them.
I love it. All right, Alexandra, tell us about the film that you made for Black Girls Film Camp.
Hi, so my film was titled The Gift and the Curse. So it follows the story of 50-year-old Melanie as she moves into a more predominantly white town, ultimately going to a PWI. So in that school, she has to learn how to navigate and advocate for herself when she suddenly receives the ability to hear the thoughts of her white peers.
Ooh,
so
scary,
with that, exactly. So I wanted to kind of dive into the paranoia of when you're the only one that looks like you in the room. like how nervous you may be when others are looking at you and what they might think. And although Melanie wasn't the only one that looked like her in her room, she could still go through that, especially since I did as well. So I just kind of wanted to also bring in comedy with it, because some of the things that shouldn't be funny are funny, but I just kind of wanted to kind of bring light, but also show how it could affect Black women as a whole.
I love it. So the camp is 16 weeks now, right?
Yes.
So I'm curious for you, Alexandra, where did it start and where did it end? So like when you first had the idea for the short, you had one thing and then the camp kind of guided you. So can you tell us a little bit about how you changed it?
So there were so many changes. Like I started writing the script on my phone originally, and when I say that note was like,
oh my goodness, yes.
It was crazy long. But the story did change a lot, but I did think that Black Girls Swim Camp tighten it up more, because it was a little messy at first. And Lana had mentioned in her interview earlier, or it was Avery that mentioned in her interview previously, about how like the 20 pages, in the 6 minutes, it told a better story than it would have in the 20 pages. So I think that really helped me and everybody else understand the story better as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, Kyla, the pad hustle, right? Let's hear
Yes.
more about it.
So the pad hustle is about period poverty. I wanted it to be a fun, enlightening topic because not all of it is. So where I'm from is Florida, and so it is a hush topic. And especially coming from a low-income minority high school, there are struggles in the community when it comes to period poverty. And just to make a film in a mockumentary style, which is similar to Abbott Elementary and The Office, to give it such like a comforting feel when you're talking about it, was just my way of expressing period poverty.
That's brilliant. Thank you for doing such impactful work. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Where do you want to see the film go next?
Well, I would love for it to get picked up by, if Abbott Elementary wants to make it into one of the
Do you
episodes.
hear that? We're gonna
would
get
be
this out there.
great.
Yes.
But just to keep it like growing and to help young girls see that this is not just a struggle you have to go through alone, but everyone goes through it, because there are some scenes in the short where we do have the girl had no pads at all, so she resorted to toilet paper, which I'm pretty sure we've all gone through once in a while.
Oh my! I had to go through that when I was a how y'all still have to go through that? This is why this is so important.
Yes, and I just wanted to showcase that in my film.
That's beautiful. All right, so we have a new segment on the Sista Brunch podcast, which is Let's Talk Tech. So we want to really plant some seeds for when y'all are alumni coaches next year, right? What is a technical term that you want to make sure the next girl knows, girl or person knows as she comes into making her film?
I would say a slate. I actually got one myself. A slate is when you're watching, it's more so for the editors, but it helps organize your videos. It's the clapper that they use in the beginning of a short or a film, just so that they can show the FPS, which is the frames per second, and to organize the film. That way, if you know, okay, this one was a mess up, we know that this is the final cut and how we want the film to roll out.
I just need to say something, because we didn't slate. And so we don't have a slate. We've been using this, and I just realized we didn't do it, right? And we need to sync that sound. We want to make sure this audio from the mics lines up with our camera. Thank you so much. What a perfect example. And also we learned we got to make sure we slate. Thank you. Amazing. Yes.
So a term that I would be sure to know of is shooting speed and sound speed, because those were two terms I was completely confused of, because I would be like quiet on set. They're like, wait, you have to say shooting speed first and then action. So you just really want to make sure you know the order of how filming goes, so that way everybody on set knows to be quiet, and so the actors know when to start acting, and so the cameraman and the sound person know when to move into their positions.
Brilliant. Thank you. And Daria, what'd you learn?
Yeah, for me, what I learned about was ADR, which is automated dialogue replacement. It's a little bit different than a regular voiceover. It's like if you lose certain audio, then you kind of have the actors voice over the lines again, and then you put it back in post. And we had to do that a little bit. And we also did regular voice over that we didn't use in the film in the end of it. But yeah, that was something really helpful that I learned.
I love it. All right, Precious, how about you?
I learned about a best boy and a gaffer, which is both lighting people or people who work on the lighting. And I think that's just really important because it's a small little detail that can really help, especially with our melanin and everything. You got to get it right.
We need to make sure that person knows multiple hues, right? And so many times, even in Hollywood, people who are getting paid a lot of money, DPs don't know how to do that. So such a good point.
Right.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to go to our signature Sista Brunch question. So at the end of every episode, we ask our guests this question. So you are sitting down to a Sista Brunch with your younger self. What are you both eating? What are you drinking? Actually, let's not do drinking because y'all should be drinking juice. Okay, we do that with the 21 and over. Okay, so what are you eating? So what's your favorite brunch item? And then what do you tell your younger self? Let's start with you, Precious.
So I actually just had this today for brunch, but chicken and waffles.
Yes.
I feel like that's the best brunch food. And I would probably tell myself to just trust myself and believe in myself and invest in myself because I remember a couple ways ago I was looking at a vision board that I had put out, and I put like PBS NewsHour, I had put filmmaking, all these cameras, and a lot of those things that I put on my vision board I've actually done and I've actually worked with and I've come to pass. So
okay, tell us one thing that was on the board that now happened.
Working with the PBS NewsHour. So last year I was able to go to Boston. We did a film program, and I actually learned about that program with Student Reporting Labs through the Black Girls Film Camp. So they go for a week, we create a video, and then we come back home and watch the video. And our story actually got picked up by the Nightly News Hour. So
go ahead. I love it. Okay, so you would tell her vision board or take care of
believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. That's it.
It can really happen.
All right, Daria.
Yeah, so for me, I'd probably be eating, I know this is like a breakfast food, but I used to eat this all the time, like even for dinner. So it'd be like grits, eggs, and bacon in like a little bowl, and I would like mix it together.
That's good. That's perfect.
True. I would eat that because I still love eating that to this day. And I would tell myself,
grits or butter with the
just butter,
okay,
grits,
yeah,
butter.
That's better.
I would tell myself, I know people don't really say this anymore, but YOLO, like you only live once, to not be worried about like, oh, what if this and that happens? Like I always tell myself it's better to live with knowing what will happen instead of living with regrets. Like, you want to be thinking about all the great things you did, not what you could have done,
Love it.
So one thing I'll be eating, it's not really a brunch item, but I really love biscuits. There's something about them butter biscuits. But similar to Daria, one thing that I would tell myself is you could do it, because one thing I'm really afraid of is failure. So I always think about if I don't do this, then like what's going to happen later on. So I think it's just better to trust myself, trust others, and know that God will take me where I need to be taken, because he already did.
Yes.
I actually haven't eaten yet, but if I were, I would say Dino Nuggies, because I would tell my younger self that as we age and as we get older, to never lose your inner child, because that is something that you always want to have within you, because that helps stay curious and helps you continue to grow and learn.
I'm so proud to have you all on this podcast. I can't wait for 2, 3, 5, 6 years from now to look back and say, look who we had on this podcast and look at what she's doing now. We are here to continually support you. This podcast, this is the version, the kind of Black Girls Film Camp version for older women, right? Women and non-binary people. So we are so excited to continue to follow your journeys. Thank you so much for coming on Sista Brunch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Precious Foreman for being a 2-time alumni coach and knowing all the things you're going to continue to do. We are so proud to give you this swag bag from Sista Brunch.
Thank you.
These are all Black-owned companies that are inside this bag, and we are so proud of you. Please wear it proudly and let everybody know to listen to you on Sista Brunch. Follow Black Girls Film Camp.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, this is Precious Foreman here at the Essence Festival with Black Girls Film Camp, and you are listening to Sista Brunch.